Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I'm going to play some Boomy Rogue Resto Shaman with Shifter and Casca, and I'm going to break down this game. Just a fair warning, I haven't played on my Rogue in 3v3 in like quite some time, so I'm definitely pretty rusty. So I want to make this video primarily about what I could have done better, right? Because there's a lot of things in all of these games that I was doing like okay or had like a good idea, but what could I have done better? So right away we sap the Windwalker. I don't have any CC on the Shaman or the DK, so let's see what we do here in the upcoming moments. The DK is out of combat, so I sap him, and then I sap the kidney the Shaman and go on to the Windwalker. So right away, it would have been better if I could have gotten that sap onto the Shaman and then went off that. The kidney is okay, because then we can follow up with like kidney into root beam onto the Shaman, into a blind, something like that. But we'll go ahead and see what happens here in these upcoming moments. Get Dance, a ton of damage here onto the Monk. The Monk did get that Earth Shield though, so the slight gap was a little unfortunate. He gets behind the pillar, and from our entire opener, I used Cold Blood, Dance, and we didn't get a single trinket or anything like that, so that's pretty bad opener overall. Right here is just some downtime. I'm popping Shadow Blades to get some more damage out. I have a dot on the Death Knight, and I have a dot on the Windwalker, so I'm kind of doing whatever. Here I'm running over to Kidney the Shaman. Seems pretty basic. Kidney the Shaman, run back. Do have some damage available, and I am going to go onto the Death Knight, and we get the Hex following the Kidney, so great Kidney into the Hex there. DK does Trinket and uses his AMS cooldown, so we can't really get too much damage into there. Right now, the Monk is popping Serenity, so I need to peel the Monk like ASAP, right? So let's see if I go ahead and do that. I don't. Little unfortunate, so that's my bad. So in the future, if a Monk is popping their offensive cooldowns, I need to try to get a stun onto the Monk. The Monk has no Earth Shield either, so the Monk is a great kill target. The DK has no Trinket though, but he does have Earth Shield, so we kind of have to weigh those two options. So I'm hitting the Monk till he swaps Earth Shield. There's the swap on the Earth Shield. Right when he swaps the Earth Shield, Kidney the healer, and then we're going on to the DK. So I like this overall. Once again though, slight gap, the Earth Shield comes off and the AMC comes off. So the reoccurring problem of the Earth Shield's getting swapped in between our CC really bad, and that AMC was placed down as well. So kind of two unfortunate things as far as timing there happened with our kill there on the Death Knight, so it didn't really happen at all. Here, the Monk trinketed. This is something I think I called out during the game. Monk trinketed Cyclone. I still have Smoke Bomb available. So right now in this moment, and right now in this game, I'm sure I'm saying, let's kill the Monk in a bomb. He has no Earth Shield. He has no Trinket. I have Smoke Bomb. GG, right? We should win. So that's probably what we're aiming to do. So keep that in mind as this game moves forward a little bit. Have the Nightblade onto the DK. Don't want to make it too obvious on the Monk, right? So I put the Nightblade onto the Monk, but I'm still targeting the Death Knight. Still want to, I mean, even the guy's cloned, I'm still targeting, because I really don't want him to swap Earth Shield to the Monk, or else it might ruin our chance to kill him. Earth Shield's refreshed on the DK, so that means he can't swap Earth Shield. Right now is when I can make it a little bit more obvious, because he can't swap Earth Shield because Earth Shield is on cooldown because he just refreshed it onto the Death Knight. Here we're going to full Nightblade onto the Monk, into that full kidney shot, into the Smoke Bomb, Dance, Symbols. I have Gormaz, so much damage here from the Monk. The Shaman's going to come in, but it's just going to be too late. He does get Hexed on his way in as well with that cheap shot. Had the blind to follow, so there's no way the Monk is going to live there. Well executed kill. The big problem in this game is just it wasn't very smooth. It wasn't very fluid, especially in the opener. A lot of our CC was gapped, and some of the swaps just weren't as smooth as we wanted them to be. But we still came out with the win with a nice kidney shot bomb. Once we realized, okay, Monk has no Earth Shield, Monk has no Trinket. Let's set this up. Nice, clean, boom, kill. It's kind of similar with Rogue Mage or Hunter Mage. I'm gonna skip through the end of this game while this guy's just kind of running around the pillar, so you guys can see the damage breakdowns there in a second. So that was the damage breakdown of that match. Let's hop into another one. Here we're hopping into a match on Ruins of Lordaeron, still playing the same comp, same spec. He's Boomkin, I'm Subtlety, by the way, and we were fighting an Ellie Shaman, an Arms Warrior, and a Resto Druid. Right away I see the Druid go stealth there, and I'm like, I have to find him. Come on, I have to find him. Have him on my focus, but he is already combat. So instead of going for the sap, I actually like this opener. Full Mark for Death Kidney onto the Druid. Out of that, we can follow with, we usually follow the Root Beam, but since it's a Druid, we can follow the Blind or a Cyclone, something like that. Starting here onto the Elemental Shaman, get knocked back, immediately step back towards him. I do get disarmed, little unfortunate, but you know, that does happen. And here we're gonna, it's an Orc Relentless Shaman and an Orc Relentless Warrior and a Tauren Trinket Resto Druid. So here, ideally it would be nice to swap to the Druid with no Trinket. if he is holding his trinket or he's just saying bear form a lot, we can kidney him in bear form and then go on to the shaman. So those are kind of like the two things I want to keep an eye out for. Kick that Stormkeeper there on the LE shaman, full kidney once again onto the healer. I like this. Step, dance here onto Saucer Boy, getting a ton of damage out. Full clone following that full kidney, beautiful. That Iron Bark does come out though with that slight gaps, these reoccurring slight gaps, and maybe need to make our CC chains a little bit more flawless if we want to, you know, end these games out a little bit sooner. But the wall does come out and the Iron Bark comes out, so that's why I'm swapping to the Warrior here. The reason I'm swapping to the Warrior here is because we already got a lot of stuff on the Shaman. Shaman has wall and he has Bark. There's no reason to keep hitting the Shaman. Instead, I'm going to start hitting the Warrior. It's not really to kill Warrior, right? I'm hitting Warrior to peel the Warrior, getting a slow on the Warrior. I can stun the Warrior if I want, but I'm kind of just helping my Boomkin survive and making the Druid maybe switch hots or start healing, spending his time healing the Warrior instead of focusing so much on the Shaman. So that swap I think is very important. Here is casting Hex. Do have a kick available. Make sure to not get faked here. Have a blind I could throw out onto the Druid or a kidney shot. Another kidney. One criticism I have of my own gameplay so far is that I haven't used blind this entire game. If I would have used it, I mean, the game's already been 2 minutes long. If I've already used it, it would have been in the opener. It would have been back up already. And if I would have already used it, then the Druid would have had no trinket, which would have allowed for more stuff. So I need to definitely use, maybe play a little bit quicker. Maybe use my blind a little bit quicker. I have a smoke bomb, a blind. I have 2 dances, so I have a lot of cooldowns right now, kind of ready to do a lot of things. But it's kind of just need to make that all happen. There's the blind. The Druid does trinket. I like that blind. Half stun the Druid. See if we can get any follow-up CC. The Cyclone comes out on the LE Shaman to keep him nice and low HP, which I love. And once again, same reasoning here, guys. Hitting the Warrior just for the time being. Want to go back to the Shaman, but I have 0 steps available. And I think I might make a mistake. Like, if I'm just waddling towards the Shaman, I'm never going to hit him, right? I have a step in 4 seconds, step in 3 seconds, step in 2 seconds. I probably went a little bit too early. A little criticism there. Should have just kept hitting Warrior until I had that step available. Once again, if I use my 1 step to get to the Shaman, I won't be able to step kidney the Druid. So now I'm just kind of waddling and chasing the Shaman when I don't really have the mobility to get there. Would have been better for me to just keep hitting the Warrior. Now I'm stuck just chasing a Shaman when I have 1 step available, and it's kind of just like a big waste of time, right? So now I'm like, okay, well, maybe I should just run to the Druid. So the last like 15 seconds was awful by me, right? And that's just because I am still a little bit new to Rogue. And I think there I should have just kept hitting the Warrior till I had another step or another vanish back up, then went to the Druid, kidney the Druid, and then stepped to the Shaman. That would have been the correct play, but instead I just spent 15 seconds waddling in the opener for no apparent reason at all. But here, the Druid shifts out of form. I get the full kidney shot on him, out of bear form, with no trinket, with that pre-Night Blade up. And I have Cold Blood and Gorma. So in my head, this is pretty much the game. I pop this Smoke Bomb, get so much damage in this, but the Warrior leaps in, duels me, and Stormbolts me. So unfortunate. And it looks like he might survive about 10% life into that Blood Elf Silence, 3% life, and he does get healed up a little bit because he does make it in their bear form with that skin. So if we had a little bit better cross CC on that Warrior, maybe if that Warrior was hexed or cloned, or if we had a little bit better control there, if I would have stunned the Warrior with a cheap shot before going, something like that, the Druid might have went down, but he did survive. So now it's kind of the focus is shifting back. Okay, he has 38 more seconds until the trinket's back up, killing these totems in the time being, but we want to get on the Shaman with some CC onto the Druid, so that's kind of what I'm focused on right now. Do get stunned here, Ice Fury coming out, full kidney onto the Druid. Once again, guys, this is kind of our standard go. I kidney the healer, dance on the DPS with the triple cheap shot. I think this is a good way to play Rogue in this composition. That's what I've done. That's what I played to Gladiator last season. Just kidney healer, dance on a DPS with a triple stun, get cooldowns. If healer has no trinket or if healer's in a vulnerable spot, guess what? That kidney shot now turns into a kidney shot to kill the healer, and you can stun the off DPS with the cheap shot. So it's still kind of the same thing, right? It's just kind of where you're putting your stuns and kind of how you want to control the enemy team. Right here, I might have came back a little bit preemptively. I come back, get a Dispel, get that re-stealth off, and I want to try to get some type of CC onto the Druid. Once again, I have that blind available. I think I might see if the Druid drops combat right here. He has combat just for another second or two. Full kidney onto the Druid, stun, cheap shot onto the Shaman. Once again, 1 cheap shot comes out, full blind onto the Druid. Looks like he's going to trinket it. He does trinket it. So now once again, we're in the same position. Druid has no trinket. Shaman's getting pretty low. Shaman still has some cooldowns. The Iron Bark is still available, it looks like. And then I start hitting the Warrior. So it's kind of like this constant rotation. And I guess one of the major things that kind of sucked is that we almost had that kill on the Druid. We put a lot of resources into that kill, and then he didn't end up dying, right? So that's really unfortunate, because like now it's like, okay, and now we start back from square one. Now we have to start going on the Shaman all over again. Might have spent a little bit too much time getting a re-stealth right here, but it's probably fine. The game's kind of stalemate. Shaman's playing back, Druid's playing back. Get that re-stealth off. Druid's out of form now, and once again, the Druid is in not in bear form rather, with no trinket. I don't have Cold Blood, but I do have Gormaz and Symbols and a dance. So once again, I thought the game was pretty much over here. These Druids just so tanky. Not sure if Shifter could get all of his damage off. I get disarmed once again, and he survives about 20%. Rallying Cry comes out. Barkskin comes out. But switch the pressure back onto the Shaman. We need some CC onto the Druid, and then the Shaman could just go down. He's already about 50% life. The Iron Bark does come out with the full hot, so usually don't want to hit in the Iron Bark for too long. And Shaman walls as well. As a huge blunder by the Shaman. There's no reason for him to wall when he already had Bark on him. I do get stunned up by the Shaman, but now they have no Iron Bark, no wall, and no Shaman Trinket. That means if we can just get one good, or no Druid Trinket, if we can just get one good CC chain onto the Druid, the Shaman's pretty much gonna go down, right? I get a stealth off and I get a sap. This is a critical point in the game. I'm in stealth and I'm going to the Druid to kidney shot him. I'm not even going for the sap, but right here I notice he drops combat because he hasn't healed in so long, and I just get the full sap mid-game onto the Resto Druid. Triple cheap shot coming out onto the Shaman here. He doesn't have wall, doesn't have anything available. He should have wall right now, but he doesn't have it because he used it on that last go. Full bash comes out onto the Druid, chase this guy behind the pillar, kick him on his cast, and he does go down. So that kind of spiraled out of control for the enemy team when they used their wall when they shouldn't have, and the Druid trinketed and then stayed out of form for too long, or stayed in form for too long, got out of combat, and I managed to land that sap. One final match here for you guys today. We are fighting a Holy Pally, a Shadow Priest, and a Destruction Warlock on Tiger's Peak Arena. In this game, we're playing a little bit quicker. So that last game was more of a dampening game. Here, we're sapping the Paladin, cheap-shotting the Destruction Warlock, cheap-shotting the Shadow Priest. This is a more classic Roastmaster opener. This is I think our final game of the night. I was getting warmed up a little. I was like, okay, I remember how to play my Rogue. These are my keybinds. Since I haven't played Rogue in so many weeks and threes, I was like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, I was a little rusty starting up, but I got that full sap. Double stun here on the Priest and the Warlock, so the game is very controlled at this point, right? Getting a lot of damage out, and this is what we want to set up a lot more frequently than I have in the past. Getting that resap, the coils coming out, we get that dispersion from the Priest, and we can still keep continuing to kill through. The Root Beam comes out onto the Holy Pally. The Warlock trinkets that Hex. Beautiful Hex, by the way, by our Shaman. Vampiric Touch is coming out full blind now onto the Paladin. Paladin does decide to trinket a Blood Elf Silence on the trinket and bomb. So let me just rewind there in the final moments of this game. Paladin in the Root Beam. Right when the Root Beam fades, we get the blind onto the Pally. Pally trinkets the blind, and right away I Blood Elf Silence onto his trinket. So Paladin hasn't been able to cast this whole game pretty much. And finally, when the Blood Elf Silence fades, I drop the Smoke Bomb, and Pally's still mashing his sap button, but it doesn't work because I dropped that Smoke Bomb to prevent it from going off. So it was the kidney into the Root Beam, into the or the sap into the Root Beam, into the blind, into the trinket, into the Blood Elf Silence, into the bomb, and finally the Priest does go down through all of their cooldowns right in the openers. That was really nice, fast-paced game there. That's the Roastmaster that I want to see more often. Those first two games were a little slow, a little uneasy. Definitely could have gotten a lot better plays off in those first two games to end it a little bit quicker, like here in this game. And we also got that 950 piece as a reward for playing well there. So that was exciting. Guys, if you liked the video, make sure to thumbs it up. If you didn't like the video or you didn't learn anything and you're like, this video is crap, thumbs it down. That's okay too. Talk to me in the comments below about what you guys want to see for next time specifically, and don't forget to subscribe. Peace.